Apex.
From the
Apex.
outside, I should be able to identify anterior versus posterior. What is our trick for that? All the veins and arteries point towards the back. Okay, that's the easiest way. You can also see the little atria flaps. They should look like ears, dog ears that flap forward, not backwards. Okay. Good. So we can identify anterior versus posterior. What are the vessels that are located on the most superficial or the superficial surface of the heart?
Coronary arteries.
Good. These are coronary vessels, specifically in that case, coronary arteries. Okay, make sure we can identify those. For the sake of this not being another week's lecture, that's all you have to know. It's coronary artery or coronary vessel. Now, let's go ahead and flip it open quick. We have a lot of structures we need to know here. Now, this is something that you should very much know conceptually. Okay? So let's go ahead and put our probe in the left ventricle on the cuspid valve. Okay? Now, if there is a pin here and it says, what valve is this? My thought process needs to be, okay, which side is it in? Okay? What side did I tell you again? Left?
Left.
Okay. I think, oh, left. How do I tell that? It's got a giant wall on the outside. It's bigger. Okay, so it has to be bicuspid. Okay, you don't have to look at it. It's on the left side, it's cuspid, it's bicuspid.
A mitral valve.
Or cuspid and mitral, because we'll ask you for both names.
What's the dead giveaway that it's a cuspid valve?
The
Chordae
tendineae.
Very good.
I think so.
Yes, that's on it.
Then yes. Most likely, guys, it's gonna be myocardium, the big muscly portion. We talked about that in lecture, right?
Okay. All right, next, put your probe on the interventricular septum, please. If there is a pin here and it says, what type of tissue is this? What would you say? Myocardium. If it says, what structure is this? What would you say? The interventricular septum. Make sense? Okay, interventricular septum. Put your pin, or put your probe where we would pin the right ventricle, if we just wanted to answer right ventricle.
That would be a name this space question, okay?
Okay, good. The right ventricle is not the wall. Okay, that's a misconception that people have. The ventricle is the space. It's not the muscular wall on the outside. Okay, very good. Now, while we're over there, find that band that gives us a little bit of reinforcement to our structure. And what is that called? Moderator band. Very good. Find the moderator band. Some of you guys have some very prevalent moderator bands.
If you haven't seen a good example, go and find one. There are some good ones in here.
We have a really good one if you need it.
Yep, that's a good one over there. They have a good one.
Yeah.
Here.
Yours is actually really good too. It's just
Yeah, if you're taking pictures or doing something and you don't have a good one, make sure you get a picture of it. I know. I apologize. Don't shake.
All right, moderator band, looking good. All right, while we're on the right side, the cuspid valve, that is a dead giveaway because it has chordae tendineae attached to it. This is called the,
Tricuspid valve.
or the, that's right, we all call it the tricuspid. Good job. Tried that trick. The other valve in there that would be out of the ventricle was called the pulmonary semilunar valve. Okay? I don't have to sit there and memorize a sheet. I know that anything that's not going through the tricuspid has to be the pulmonary semilunar valve. There's only two options on the right side. Okay? Check in the left side. Now, these ridges that we can see, what is the function of those?
I think it increases surface area.
They're just surface area.
Yeah. It can be in either ventricle also, guys. It's just typically, it really doesn't matter. It just depends on the heart, actually.
Gotcha.
So make sure that you know that it's in both ventricles, okay? Don't rely on it being in one versus the other. Trabeculae
Trabeculae.
carne, yep.
It means giant ridges. In Latin. Trust me. Okay, trabeculae carne, easy peasy. What am I missing, class? Oh, yeah. Find where the chordae tendineae, this is typically easier to find with the bicuspid or mitral valve, but it can be either side, of course. Find those muscly jut outs that anchor in those chordae tendineae. This is a papillary muscle.
This is another one. If you don't have a good example, there are plenty of really good examples in here, so find one if you don't have one. They all have papillary muscles. Some are much more prominent than others.
Much.
So we do have.
It's created out of the same thing, but there's not much detail.
It's what human hearts are like too. Some people have stronger hearts, could have to deal with age.
Some people are gonna die of a heart attack by the time they're 30.
They can-
Because they drink way too many energy drinks.